Hello everyone, my name is Martin Linksfeld and welcome to the 8th lesson of the OCI Functions with Terraform course. In this lesson we will enhance the security of our event-driven architecture by adding a new function called fnjwtauth, responsible for validation of JSON Web Token, JWT, passed in the header of the POST request to fniniitiator. The API gateway deployment will be configured to invoke this function fnjwtauth for JWT token validation. If the token is missing or invalid, the fniniitiator function will not be invoked, and the API gateway will return a 401 unauthorized response. If the token is valid, our workflow will proceed and IoT data will be placed in a streaming service. Let's get started on securing our architecture. Before going any further, let's analyze the scope of work of lesson number 8. In this lesson, as I have mentioned in an introduction, we will introduce a new function called fnjwtauth, responsible for validating the JSON Web Token. As you can see on the right, we have a handler body of our JWTauth function, and in this body we are using the token injected by API gateway, and we are comparing that with the token delivered into the function through the operating system environment. API gateway deployment will be configured to invoke that function, as I have mentioned, right? So as you can see here on the right, for OCI API gateway deployment section, the resource, we will have additional section named request policies and authentication, and we are passing custom authentication and the reference to our function. If the token is missing or invalid, fniniitiator function will not be invoked, as I have said, so API gateway will return 401 unauthorized response. This is exactly what you can see in a postman on the right? In a body of the response, we have an unauthorized message, and because we are not passing the right JSON Web Token. If the token is valid, our workflow will proceed and our IoT data will be placed in a streaming service, right? And here is the example. In a header, we are passing the key equal token with the value, which is matching something which will be in our function for validation, and that's why fniniitiator has responded with finished message and status is okay. Before code review and practical demo, let's have a look on topology diagram for lesson number 8. As you can see, we are still connecting to fniniitiator, and the difference is here, right? So API gateway, before going further, will ask fnjwtauth function to verify the token, right? And if the token is valid, the workflow will proceed and we will go further to fniniitiator. Otherwise, the connection will be further blocked. We are now again in a code editor, now in the subdirectory of lesson 8. I have already copied Terraform TF-vars file from the previous lesson, and I have run Terraform init, and Terraform is ready. So before going any further with Terraform apply, let us analyze what we have changed in this lesson. First of all, let's go to the functions underscore updated TF file. If we scroll down to the very end of this file, we'll see yet another invocation of the module, and this is an fnjwtauth function, and we are passing the value of JWT token through the config, right? So this fnjwt token variable is in updated variables.tf file, and it will be very simple value ABCD1234. This is a token which will be injected into the function, right? This authorization function, right? So this is something added here. That is one thing, but also we have a change in the API gateway. As I have mentioned, we have a section request policies and authentication, and we are using custom authentication based on the token in a header, and we are invoking our new function which has been added to this setup. The function itself is here, defined in a subdirectory of functions. So as I have shown, we are obtaining the auth token directly from the data of the handler from the inputs. It will be populated by API gateway, and we are just comparing that with the token which has been injected through the config, as I have shown you a few seconds ago. It depends on the condition met or not, we will have positive or negative response, right? So that is the super simplistic configuration, nothing fancy. Now I think we can go directly to the terminal and run Terraform apply and wait for the list of the resources to be added. 54. Let me type yes, and we will wait for deployment. Let me pause the recording now. It has taken some time, but now 54 resources added. Our ADB function has probably created a user table and initial records. We'll check it soon. Here is the endpoint of our fninitiator. We will use it soon for Postman, and we have this token which has been used to create our new function. So let me go directly to the application, and as you can see, we have 4 functions now in our FK app, right? So let me go now to our gateways just to show you API gateway. If we go to first of all to deployments, and we will edit the deployments, and we switch the wizard to authentication. There is an option which has been chosen, authorizer function, and our function fnjwtauth is chosen here to be invoked in a single authentication scenario. Okay, looks like ready. So this is what we have here. And now let's verify our database, because we would like to be sure that all the records are in place. Okay, so just to check the records, I need to open the worksheet and I need to run this query. Okay, 3 records in place, so now we can run Postman. Okay, so we will have to copy the endpoint into the Postman. So now we will send this IoT data directly into our fninitiator, but our fnjwtauth function will be invoked. We are not passing any token at the moment, so I'm expecting it will just fail. So sending the message, of course, all of the functions should be compiled. And as you can see, we have received unauthorized message. I can repeat it many times. I can even change the value here, it doesn't matter. It will not work because we have not right token. So let me change it. So I will go here and I will type token for a key and ABCD 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the right token, right? So I'm executing this one. And now probably our function fniniitiator will be compiled, and this is the answer. Everything is okay, right? But let's do another trick. I will change it slightly, right? So I will change the value of token, and as you can see, we are unauthorized, right? So let me return back to the good one, and let's change this to another device. Finished. So that is the that is a proof that our function, authorizer function, works fine. But let's verify that from the perspective of the metrics, right? So I will go to our gateways and I will check the metrics, right? So as you can see, we have some requests here, and let's go to the deployments, and as you can see, we have the right deployments in place. Let's verify that from the perspective of the functions. So let us check if we have invocation of fnjwtauth. So as you can see, it has been used many times. And for fninitiator, we have everything in place. And for the collector, let me check it for collector. Yeah, executed as well. So I'm assuming in our database we should have new entries, and this is what we can see here. So everything has been done, so we can return back to terminal and run terraform destroy just to eliminate all of the resources created for us. And within a sec, I believe we will see the question to approve the destroy operation for all of the resources. I'm typing yes, and 35 resources will be destroyed. So I will pause the recording now. 54 resources destroyed. Let me check it. Let me go directly to applications. Maybe I'll start with the gateways. Deleted. Applications deleted. Everything seems to be deleted, including the database, which is terminated. So it is all what I have in this lecture. So I hope it was interesting. Next lecture will cover additional scenario for using functions, this time with the bucket and event services. Hope it will be interesting. See you soon. Thank you for now.